The Orion flew through deep space, calm and steady. Its engines hummed quietly as the stars passed slowly in the distance. Life on the ship returned to normal, but something had changed. Lyra was no longer just a guest. She was now part of the crew. In the mornings, she helped Megan in the engine room. Megan showed her how systems worked, how to run checks, and how to fix problems. Lyra listened carefully and learned fast. She asked questions and took notes. Megan was patient and proud. "You've got a good mind," Megan said one day as they repaired a cooling pipe. "You learn quick," Lyra smiled. "You're a good teacher." Later, she worked with Daniel in the medical bay. He showed her how to use the equipment and how to read the medical scans. She was nervous at first, but Daniel always spoke kindly. "Medicine is about care," he said. "Machines help us, but it's our heart that heals." Lyra nodded. She understood that very well. At night, the crew gathered in the lounge. They shared stories, played games, and watched old Earth movies. Lyra laughed with them. She was still learning human jokes, but their joy was easy to feel. One day, the Orion received a new mission. A small colony on the edge of human space had fallen silent. No one had heard from them in weeks. The Orion was sent to investigate. Captain Alex gathered the team. "It might be a broken signal tower," he said. "Or it might be something worse. We go in prepared." Lyra joined the team with confidence. She now wore a uniform like the others. She was nervous, but she wanted to help. When they reached the colony, they found it quiet and dark. Buildings stood empty. Lights flickered. It looked like the people had left in a hurry. "Stay close," Alex ordered. "Megan, check the power station. Daniel, look for any medical clues. Lyra, come with me." They moved carefully through the colony. Lyra held a small scanner. She checked the air and picked up signs of recent movement. Her hands were steady. Her training had made her stronger. In one building, they found a group of colonists hiding. They were scared, hungry, and sick. A virus had spread through the camp, and they had locked themselves inside to stop it. Daniel and Lyra rushed to help. Daniel quickly set up the medical tools. Lyra helped carry supplies, gave water to the sick, and cleaned wounds. She followed Daniel's instructions carefully. "You're doing great," he told her. "They trust you." One little girl reached out and grabbed Lyra's hand. "Are you an alien?" she asked, eyes wide. Lyra smiled gently. "Yes, but I'm your friend," the girl smiled back. "You're kind." Those simple words touched Lyra deeply. She remembered how scared she once was. Now, she was the one bringing comfort to others. The team worked for 2 days, helping the colony recover. By the end, the power was restored and the sick were getting better. The colonists thanked the Orion crew again and again. Before they left, the colony leader spoke to Alex. "We heard stories about humans being cold and ruthless, but your crew proved them wrong, especially her." He pointed to Lyra, who stood quietly beside Daniel. "She's the bravest of us all," Alex said with pride. Back on the ship, Lyra sat with the crew in the lounge. They were tired but happy. "You were amazing," Megan said. "I was scared," Lyra admitted. "We all were," Daniel said. "But you didn't stop. That's what makes you brave." Lyra looked at her friends. She felt a deep warmth in her heart. These humans had changed her life. And now she was helping others the way they helped her. Captain Alex stood up. "Lyra," he said, "from today, you are not just part of this crew. You are officially an officer of the Orion." Everyone cheered. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. She stood up slowly and gave a small bow. "Thank you," she said. "I will do my best, always." The stars outside the window shined brightly. The Orion moved forward into the unknown, carrying a crew stronger than ever before. And among them was a young alien girl, once abandoned, now a hero. Only the humans had saved her, and she would never forget it. The Orion arrived at the meeting point, a small peaceful moon that floated near a quiet star. Captain Alex stood on the bridge, looking out the window. He had chosen this place for safety. It was open and quiet. There would be no surprises here. Lyra stood beside him. Her hands were shaking a little, but her eyes were calm. She had come a long way since the humans found her. She was no longer weak and scared. She was stronger now, and she had her new family behind her. "Are you sure about this?" Alex asked her gently. Lyra nodded. "Yes, I need to see them. I need to hear what they have to say." Megan and Daniel joined them on the bridge. Megan gave Lyra a small smile. "We'll be with you every step." "Thank you," Lyra whispered. Soon, a small alien ship appeared and landed on the moon. Lyra watched it closely. Her heart beat faster. She recognized the ship. It belonged to her people. A group of aliens stepped out. They looked careful and unsure. One of them, a tall figure with silver skin and gentle eyes, walked forward. It was her Uncle Solon. "Lyra," he called, "you are alive." Lyra walked down the ramp slowly, with Alex, Megan, and Daniel beside her. She stopped a short distance from them. "Yes," she said, "I am alive because the humans saved me." Solon looked at the humans with mixed feelings. "We thought you were lost. We were told there was no cure." Daniel stepped forward calmly. "We made a cure. She is healthy now. She was never lost. You left her." Solon looked away, ashamed. "We were afraid. The illness was spreading. Our leaders decided to leave those infected. It was a hard choice." "You didn't even try," Lyra said, her voice steady. "You didn't fight for me. You didn't believe in me." "You're right," Solon said slowly. "And we are sorry, truly sorry. That's why we came. Not to take you back. We know we don't deserve that. We just want to say sorry." Lyra looked at him for a long time. She could see the regret in his eyes. She could hear the pain in his voice. Part of her wanted to forgive him. Part of her still felt the hurt. Alex stepped back and let her speak. This was her choice. "I forgive you," she said finally, "but I won't come back. I have a new place. Now, I belong with the Orion." Solon nodded slowly. "We understand. You have found a good place." Lyra turned and looked at Alex, Megan, and Daniel. "Yes, I have." The meeting ended peacefully. Lyra's people returned to their ship and flew away. Lyra watched until they disappeared into the stars. Back on the Orion, everyone was quiet for a while. Then Megan spoke softly. "That was very brave." "I feel lighter now," Lyra said. "I said what I needed to say. I don't hate them, but I don't need them anymore." Alex smiled. "You're one of us now. You always have a home here." That night, they had a small meal together in the dining room. Lyra sat between Megan and Daniel. They laughed and shared stories. It felt warm and peaceful. After the meal, Lyra walked to the observation window. She looked out at the stars. Daniel joined her after a moment. "Thinking about them?" he asked. "A little," she said. "But mostly, I'm thinking about the future. I want to help others, like you helped me." Daniel nodded. "You'll be good at it. Do you think others will accept me?" she asked. "Some will. Some won't. But the ones who matter will see who you are." Lyra smiled. "I want to learn more. I want to study medicine. Maybe one day I can cure someone too." Daniel's eyes lit up. "That's a great idea. We'll teach you everything we can." The Orion moved quietly through space again. Its mission continued, and now it had a new member with a brave heart and a strong will. Lyra felt proud. She had survived the worst. She had found family in the most unexpected place. The humans, called Ruthless by so many, had shown her more kindness than anyone else ever had. Now, she was ready to become someone who could do the same for others. Her journey was not over. It was just beginning. Daniel worked through the night. He didn't stop for food or sleep. The ship was quiet, but his mind was full of thoughts and focus. He checked his notes again and again, watching the numbers and samples change. The medicine was almost ready. Lyra stayed close to the medical bay. She didn't want to disturb him, but she felt safe there. She sat in a corner with a soft blanket and watched as he worked. Sometimes he smiled at her to show he was still there. In the morning, Megan entered with a cup of tea and some food. She placed it on a small table next to Lyra. "You both need rest," she said kindly. "Even heroes get tired." Daniel laughed quietly. "Just a little longer, Megan. I'm almost done." Lyra looked at him with hopeful eyes. "Do you think it will work?" Daniel nodded slowly. "Yes, I believe it will." Captain Alex joined them soon after. He looked proud but tired. He had spent the night checking the ship's systems and scanning for any signs of more enemies. "Any trouble?" Daniel asked him. "No," Alex said. "We're clear for now. But we need to finish your cure quickly. I don't want to risk another attack." Daniel turned back to his tools. After a few more hours, he held up a small container with a clear blue liquid inside. "It's ready," he said quietly. Lyra stood slowly. Her heart beat fast. This was the moment she had waited for. Daniel helped her sit on the medical bed and carefully gave her the first dose. Everyone watched in silence. For a few minutes, nothing happened. Then slowly, color returned to Lyra's skin. Her breathing became easier. The pain in her body started to fade. Daniel checked the readings. He smiled. "It's working." Lyra's eyes filled with tears. "Thank. Why owe you all of you? I thought I was going to die." Megan hugged her tightly. "You're going to live, Lyra. You're strong." Alex placed a hand on Daniel's shoulder. "Well done." Daniel let out a deep breath. "We'll keep monitoring her, but I think we've done it." Later, Lyra sat with Megan in the ship's lounge. They looked out at the stars together. "You risk so much for me," Lyra said softly. "Why?" Megan smiled. "Because that's what friends do. We don't care what species someone is. If they need help, we help." Lyra nodded. "You are not like the stories. Humans are not heartless. You are the most caring people I've ever met." "We can be rough," Megan admitted, "but only when we need to be. When we protect someone, we don't stop." Lyra smiled. She finally felt safe. Over the next 2 days, Lyra's health continued to improve. She could walk more, laugh more, and eat real food again. Daniel adjusted her medicine and kept close watch, but he was happy with her progress. One morning, a message arrived at the ship. Alex read it quietly, then showed it to the others. It was from Lyra's old people. They had learned she was alive and cured. Now, they wanted to meet. They want her back? Megan asked with surprise. "They say they want to apologize," Alex answered. "And they want to talk." Lyra looked down. "They left me to die. Why now?" "That's your choice," Alex said gently. "You don't have to go. But if you want to talk to them, we'll go with you." "You won't be alone." Lyra thought for a long time. Finally, she nodded. "I will meet them, but only with you by my side." Alex smiled. "Then we'll go together." The Orion changed course and set a meeting point with Lyra's people. As they flew through space, Lyra stayed close to her human friends. She felt nervous, but she was ready. Daniel packed a small case with extra medicine, just in case. Megan stayed near Lyra, telling her stories to keep her calm. Alex planned every detail of the meeting, making sure nothing could go wrong. Lyra looked at them all and felt strong. With them, she was not afraid. She had been left behind. She had been sick and alone. But only the humans had saved her. And now, she knew the truth. They were not ruthless. They were brave, loyal, and full of heart. Alex's hands moved quickly across the ship's controls, calm yet swift. His crew trusted his leadership and followed his commands without question. Megan monitored the defensive systems, her expression focused and determined. Daniel stayed near the medical bay, prepared to protect his crucial work. "Captain, they're preparing to board us." Megan called urgently from her station. Hold steady, Alex ordered calmly. We won't let them take Lyra. Lyra felt her heart race, anxiety growing. Inside her. Maybe you should just hand me over, she whispered softly, guilt filling her voice. I don't want anyone hurt because of me. Alex turned sharply to her, his eyes serious but kind. No, you're part of this crew now, Lyra. We never leave anyone behind. His words filled Lyra with courage. She nodded bravely, determined to trust him completely. The ship jolted slightly as the enemy vessel latched onto them. Megan's fingers danced rapidly over her controls, activating defensive measures. Doors sealed tightly, barriers locked into place, and alarms wailed in warning. The crew was ready. They're breaking through the outer door, Megan announced urgently. Let them come, Alex responded with steely determination. We'll meet them at the entrance. Alex, Megan, Daniel, and Lyra gathered near the boarding entrance. Megan held a defensive tool ready. Daniel gripped his medical scanner tightly, and Alex stood firm at the front. Lyra stayed behind them, eyes wide with both. Fear and awe at their bravery. The doors opened suddenly with a loud hiss, revealing several aliens heavily armored and armed. Their leader stepped forward, his expression cold and harsh. Give us the infected alien, he demanded in a deep, chilling voice. She is a danger to us all. Alex stood tall, refusing to be intimidated. Lyra is under our protection, he stated. Calmly but fiercely. She poses no threat to anyone. She is infected, the alien insisted sharply, pointing accusingly at Lyra. You humans don't understand the risk. We understand loyalty, Megan spoke up boldly. Lyra is safe here. We're curing her. The alien scoffed angrily. There is no cure. Your efforts are futile. Give her to us or face the consequences. Alex's expression never wavered. We'll take our chances. Frustrated, the alien stepped forward aggressively. The humans reacted swiftly. Alex and Megan worked together perfectly, blocking their advance and standing their ground firmly. Daniel held back protectively near Lyra, determined to shield her from harm. The aliens hesitated briefly, surprised by the strength and resolve of the humans. Their leader growled with irritation. You're making a mistake, he warned coldly. The only mistake will be betraying our own, Alex replied firmly, his voice unwavering, realizing they wouldn't win easily. The aliens stepped back reluctantly, their leader glaring at Alex with fury. You'll regret this, he hissed bitterly. With a harsh command, the aliens withdrew, disappearing back through their entryway. Moments later, the enemy ship detached roughly from the Orion, leaving the crew shaken, but victorious Megan immediately sealed the doors again, ensuring they were safe. Daniel quickly returned to his medical bay, resuming his critical work without pause. Alex turned toward Lyra, his expression gentle yet serious. Are you all right? He asked quietly, genuine concern in his eyes. Lyra nodded weakly, deeply moved. I don't know how to thank you, she whispered softly, tears in her eyes. Alex placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. No need to thank us, he said sincerely. We protect our own. That's what humans do. Lyra smiled slightly, feeling safe and valued. I never imagined humans could be so brave and caring, she admitted softly. Megan approached, smiling warmly. At Lyra, we're full of surprises, she joked gently. Now, let's go see how Daniel's doing. The three walked swiftly to the medical bay. Daniel worked with intense focus, determined to finalize the cure. I'm nearly finished, he announced, glancing briefly at them. Just a few final tests. Relief flooded through the crew. Lyra felt a spark of joy, hopeful for the first time. She realized fully how special her new friends were. Humans might be tough, maybe even ruthless in defending their own, but they also possess an unmatched kindness and determination to help. You did it, Lyra said softly to Daniel, gratitude clear in her eyes. Daniel smiled warmly, his voice gentle. Not yet, but very soon. You're strong, Lyra. You deserve this chance. In that moment, Surrounded by humans who cared deeply for her, Lyra finally understood what it meant to be truly valued. These humans had saved her life not only physically, but emotionally. She belonged with them now, safe and protected by a crew she proudly called family. Back aboard the Orion, Daniel immediately began work on creating the cure. He carefully set up the medical lab, laying out supplies from the trading hub. His face was serious, focused entirely on his task. Lyra sat nearby, watching him curiously. Though she didn't understand everything he did, she appreciated his dedication and skill. "Will it take long?" she asked hesitantly, breaking the quiet. Daniel looked up, giving her a reassuring smile. "Science takes time," he explained gently. "But we have a good start. Trust me, I'll do everything I can to help you." Lyra nodded quietly, feeling comforted by his words. "I do trust you," she whispered honestly. "You and your crew have been kinder than anyone I've ever known." Daniel smiled warmly again, returning to his work. Lyra watched silently, her thoughts drifting to her own people. They had abandoned her quickly, fearing her illness. Now, she was finding hope and safety with the very species her people considered ruthless. The thought filled her with confusion and sadness, yet also gratitude and hope. Nearby, Megan sat working quietly on a machine component, occasionally glancing toward Lyra with concern. She put down her tools and walked over, taking a seat next to Lyra. "How are you doing?" Megan asked gently, sensing Lyra's unease. Lyra took a deep breath, looking down at her hands. "I'm confused," she admitted softly. "Everything I knew about humans was wrong. You've all shown me such kindness." Megan smiled thoughtfully. "People often misunderstand us. We're strong, sometimes fierce, but we're also capable of great compassion. Helping others is important to us." Lyra nodded slowly, her eyes sincere. "Why did you join this crew?" She asked suddenly. Megan leaned back thoughtfully. "I always wanted to see the universe, meet different people, learn new things. Joining the Orion was my best decision, because I can do all that and also help people in need." Lyra listened carefully, her admiration for Megan growing. "You make it sound so simple," she said quietly. Megan laughed softly. "Life isn't always simple, but doing the right thing usually is." Across the ship, Captain Alex carefully reviewed security footage of the trading hub visit. His eyes narrowed slightly as he noticed something odd: several aliens watching closely and whispering among themselves. He had learned to trust his instincts, and right now they were telling him something was wrong. He quickly called Megan and Daniel to the bridge. They arrived moments later, Daniel still holding his medical instruments. "We might have trouble," Alex said quietly, pointing at the screen. "We will watch carefully at the hub. Some might follow us, thinking Lyra is a threat." Megan's eyes darkened with worry. "Do you think they would attack?" Alex nodded slowly. "It's possible. We need to be prepared." "Daniel, how much longer for the cure?" Daniel rubbed his chin thoughtfully. "A day, maybe 2. We're close, but I still need time." "We'll buy you time," Alex said firmly. "Megan, strengthen our defenses. Keep scanning for anything unusual." Megan nodded, determined. "I'll start right away." As they left the bridge, Lyra quietly approached Alex. "Captain, is everything okay?" Alex turned to face her, his expression calm and reassuring. "Everything's fine. We're just being cautious." Lyra looked doubtful. "Are we in danger because of me?" Alex placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You're not the cause. You're one of us now, and we protect each other." Lyra felt warmth in her chest, deeply touched by his words. "Thank you," she whispered. Sincerely. As hours passed, tension filled the Orion. Megan strengthened defenses, checking and rechecking all systems. Daniel worked tirelessly in the medical lab, determined to complete the cure. Alex continuously scanned space around them, alert for any threats. Late into the night, alarms suddenly blared. Alex jumped to attention, quickly checking sensors. His eyes narrowed at the sight of an approaching ship. "Everyone to stations," he ordered sharply. "We have company." Megan swiftly prepared the defensive systems, ready to respond. Daniel secured the lab, determined not to lose any progress. Lyra stood near Alex, frightened but trusting his strength. "Unknown ship, identify yourself," Alex demanded firmly over the comm. A cold voice replied sharply, filled with contempt. "We know you have the infected alien on board. Give her to us or face destruction." Alex's eyes hardened, his voice calm but fierce. "This girl is under our protection. We don't surrender our own. Leave now, or we'll defend ourselves." Lyra felt her heart pounding. Her own people had abandoned her, and now strangers threatened her life again. Yet the humans stood firm, ready to fight for her. She watched Alex with growing admiration. He was strong, determined, and fearless. The humans around her were more than just rescuers. They were family now, willing to risk everything to protect her. "Thank you," she whispered again softly, even though she knew Alex might not hear her. Amidst the chaos. Yet in that moment, she knew she was safe, because these humans would never abandon her. Lyra sat quietly aboard the Orion, wrapped in a warm blanket provided by Megan. Her eyes wandered around the unfamiliar room, carefully taking in every detail. She was nervous, but the kindness of these humans was gradually helping her relax. Daniel was busy checking medical data on a glowing screen, focused on finding a cure for her mysterious illness. "Feeling any better?" Megan asked softly, handing Lyra a warm drink. "It's safe," she added reassuringly when she saw hesitation in Lyra's eyes. Lyra took a small sip and felt warmth spreading through her tired body. "Thank you," she whispered quietly. "I don't understand why you're helping me. Everyone says humans are dangerous." Megan smiled warmly, sitting beside her. "Humans can be tough, yes," she said gently. "But we also care deeply. We can't stand by when someone needs help." Lyra slowly nodded, thoughtful. "My own people abandoned me," she said sadly. "They believed I would infect them." Megan reached out and lightly touched Lyra's hand. "You're not alone now," she promised. "We'll find a way to help you." Across the room, Daniel finished his initial examination. He approached with a kind smile. "I've completed my first scans," he said softly. "You are sick, but I think we have enough here to start finding a cure." Lyra felt a spark of hope. "Do you think you can really cure me? My people believed it was impossible." Daniel smiled confidently. "I believe every illness has a cure, even if it hasn't been found yet. We'll work hard until we find it." "Captain." Alex entered the room quietly, his presence strong yet comforting. He stood near the entrance, observing the conversation before stepping forward. "Lyra, how are you feeling?" She looked up into his calm eyes. "Better than before," she admitted shyly. "Thank you, Captain. You saved my life." Alex gently shook his head. "You don't need to thank us. It's our duty to help others. Right now, you should rest. You're safe here." Lyra felt a strange comfort in his words. For the first time in days, she allowed herself to truly relax. As she lay down on the soft bed, prepared by Megan, her thoughts wandered to everything she had learned about humans. Clearly, much of it had been wrong. Later in the Orion's meeting room, Alex, Megan, and Daniel discussed their next steps. Daniel projected images of his medical scans onto a large screen. He pointed at the complex patterns. "Her illness is unique," he explained. "But I've identified several markers that resemble known conditions." Megan leaned forward, looking carefully at the images. "Can we create a medicine based on those similarities?" Daniel nodded. "That's my hope. I'll run tests in our lab. But we might need extra supplies that aren't available on board." Alex listened carefully, nodding slowly. "We'll head for the nearest trading hub. Hopefully we can find what you need there." The decision was made swiftly, and soon the Orion was moving again, heading for a neutral trading hub. While the crew prepared for their arrival, Lyra slowly regained strength under Daniel's careful watch. Several hours later, the ship docked at the bustling trading hub. Bright lights, loud voices, and strange faces filled every corner. "Lyra," felt nervous as Alex explained they had to leave the ship briefly. She was afraid of the other aliens, worried they would judge or attack her. "Stay close to us," Alex instructed calmly. "You'll be safe," Lyra nodded bravely. Together, they stepped into the busy hub. Immediately, suspicious eyes fell on the group, whispers following them. A tall, stern-looking alien stopped them sharply. "Humans," he hissed. "What business do you have here?" Alex remained calm and polite. "We're here for medical supplies. One of our crew needs help." The alien glared down at Lyra. "This girl is no human," he said suspiciously. "Why help her?" Megan stepped forward defensively. "Because we care about her, no matter what species she belongs to." The alien sneered, but eventually stepped aside, allowing them to pass. Lyra felt deep gratitude as they moved through the hub. These humans, whom she had been told to fear, stood firmly beside her. Protecting her from harm. At the medical stall, Daniel carefully selected items, paying close attention to every detail. Lyra noticed other aliens watching them with curious, sometimes unfriendly eyes, but none dared to interfere. Despite the tension, Lyra felt safe beside her new human friends Dot as they returned to the Orion with supplies. Lyra felt a powerful sense of belonging. These humans were her new family now, and she was beginning to realize just how lucky she had been to meet them. They were indeed tough, brave, and perhaps even ruthless when necessary. But above all, they were kind, compassionate, and caring qualities that made her trust them completely. Lyra shivered in the dim glow of emergency lights. The space station around her creaked softly, abandoned and eerily silent. She hugged her arms tightly, feeling weaker by the hour. Her species had left her behind, believing she was carrying a deadly, incurable disease. The memory of their departure was still fresh, painful, and vivid. Her friends, her family, everyone she knew had simply abandoned her to face death alone. Sitting in a quiet corner, Lyra stared at the blinking distress beacon. Her fingers trembled as she adjusted the message again, hoping desperately anyone would hear her plea. Even though she had heard terrible stories of humans, her survival instinct was stronger than fear. Humans were known across galaxies as ruthless warriors who fought fiercely and without mercy. But at this point, Lyra would take help from anyone that far away. Aboard a human spaceship named Orion, Captain Alex Carter observed the main screen carefully. He was a calm man with sharp eyes and a firm sense of fairness. A signal flashed softly on the control panel. "Captain," called out Megan Cole, the ship's engineer. "We're picking up a distress signal. It's weak, but close enough." "Should we respond?" Alex turned thoughtfully, running a hand through his short brown hair. "Yes, Megan. Always respond to distress signals. Plot a course immediately." Beside Megan, Daniel Brooks, the medic, checked his gear quietly. Daniel was soft-spoken, kind, and dedicated to saving lives. He sensed something unusual about the call, something urging Dot in a short time. The Orion arrived near the abandoned space station. It hung in space, dark and lifeless. The crew stared at the eerie structure in silence. Alex stood confidently, addressing his crew. "Megan, Daniel, suit up. We're going aboard. Be ready for anything." Minutes later, Alex, Megan, and Daniel stepped cautiously into the space station. The air was cold, the silence heavy. Their helmet lights cast shadows on the walls as they moved through empty corridors. Megan carefully scanned the area for danger. Daniel held his medical scanner ready, eyes alert for signs of life. "Captain, this place feels abandoned," Megan said softly through her helmet speaker. "Stay sharp," Alex replied calmly. "We don't know what to expect." Suddenly, Daniel's scanner beeped sharply. "Captain, I've got a life reading. Very weak, but it's here." The team quickly followed Daniel's guidance. They reached a small room, finding Lyra huddled in a corner, eyes wide with fear. She was weak, her blue skin pale and shimmering slightly under the low lights. She looked up, shrinking back instinctively. "Please, don't hurt me," she whispered in a trembling voice. Trying to shield herself, Alex slowly raised his hands, showing her they were empty. "We're not here to hurt you," he said gently. "We heard your distress call. We're here to help." Lyra looked uncertain, her eyes darting between the humans. "But you're humans. Everyone says you're ruthless, dangerous." Daniel carefully approached her, kneeling down to her level. His eyes were warm and comforting. "We won't hurt you," he promised softly. "Let me check your health, please." "You're safe now." Lyra hesitated, but desperation forced her to trust. Slowly, she allowed Daniel to scan her. Megan moved to comfort her, speaking softly and reassuringly. "It's going to be okay. You're not alone anymore." Tears filled Lyra's eyes. Her shoulders shook slightly as she finally allowed herself to relax, feeling hope for the first time. In days, Alex watched, relieved and proud of his crew. He knew humans had a bad reputation, but this was who they truly were. Strong, yes, but kind and protective. "Let's get you out of here," Alex said, his voice steady and comforting. "You're coming aboard the Orion. We'll take care of you." Lyra nodded weakly. She felt the warmth and sincerity in their actions. Slowly, she realized that everything she had heard about humans might be wrong. Perhaps these humans were not ruthless at all. Perhaps, against everything she'd been taught, they were the only ones who cared enough to save her with gentle hands. Daniel and Megan supported Lyra as they moved back toward their ship. Alex led the way, vigilant and protective. As they left the dark, empty station behind, Lyra felt her fear fade away, replaced by cautious hope. For the first time since being left behind, she believed that maybe, just maybe, she was going to survive.